Welcome back, everybody, to WHAAT TV. You know it's Ace. You know it already. But guys, we got to jump straight into this video because, as you see on your screen, the migrant situation is getting bad. It's really getting bad. We're going to cover a couple things, and we're going to continue to document this. But in our latest saga in the migrant situation that's growing in New York City, we see a young man, 15 years old, coming from a migrant family who one of his last known address was at a migrant shelter, even though I believe him and his mom have moved out of that shelter. But that was one of his known last addresses. You know, this kid, he had a firearm. He went off, had an argument with somebody inside of JD Sports, and comes outside, tries to shoot the person. An officer responds, tries to shoot at that officer to kind of like get some time to flee. And man, it turned out bad because in less than 24, they had this guy in handcuffs. You know, not only are we going to be taking a look at that situation, but guys, you got to be careful because there's a new scheme, a new plan to get credit card information from people. You know, there's a new scheme going on where they can take, you know how you got the phone, the Apple Pay device in your phone? Well, now people have found a way, or they have a device where they could, once they have your phone, they can then open it up or run it against a program where they scan your phone, and then now they have your credit card information. They then take that credit card information with your information because they have your phone, they know your information, and then they go on a shopping spree. So, man, you have to be careful about this new scheme that's going on right now. Again, like, subscribe, and definitely share so you can let people know what's going on. You know, once they have your phone, they have a device where they could just scan your phone against it, and if you have like Apple Pay or stuff within your wallet, somehow they are able to retrieve that information. So one phone, if you have an iPhone, right? iPhone 14, 15, whatever you got going on, a Samsung, the phone itself is valuable, right? Once they wash everything on it, the phone itself is valuable, but the information now within the phone is even more valuable because it has all your credit card information there, and once they take that off, they could then deplete it. So phones now are back being a hot topic, but let's just jump right into these videos, guys, for you, and you guys let me know what you guys think. Things that make you go, what? I mean, this migrant situation is getting bad, and we are about to uncover what's really going on because ICE is a big problem. Now, the NYPD, they were on top of this guy, and they were able to get him in Yonkers. But you tell me what would happen if this young man was able to cross over state lines and, let's say, book it for Georgia, Florida, California, something like that. NYPD don't have the resources to go grab him after that. So that's where ICE comes in, guys. ICE is very important, and we're going to get to it. We are going to get to it. So trust me, you're going to want to like, subscribe, and definitely share because we're going to get to the bottom and we're going to unveil what's the real problem with ICE and what really brought us to this problem that we're having with the migrants. Let's just run this video up first.
So top brass with the NYPD saying he was obviously armed and dangerous. The store surveillance video is chilling. An undercover female security guard stops 3 teenage boys who are migrants after police say they were seen shoplifting in the JD Sports store in Times Square. She takes their bag, and then the 15-year-old wearing all white pulls out a .45 caliber gun from a fanny pack and fires a shot at her. The bullet hitting a tourist from Brazil who was shopping. Surveillance video also shows the suspect then firing wildly at a police officer who was chasing him on a busy city street.
Listen, fam, you're 15. You cannot fire into a JD Sports because you couldn't steal your Jordans. You just can't. Just because you didn't get your Nike Tech sweat, you cannot fire into a JD Sports where I'm be shopping, where I shop and many people shop, just because you can't steal your Nike Tech. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You cannot fire into a place where I'm at and I have family and friends be at just because you can't steal your Nike Tech. I'm sorry. You can't.
Street.
He's running. He takes his gun out under his armpit. He fires again at our officer.
Police say the officer did not return fire out of concern for innocent bystanders. The suspect is Jesus Rivas Figueroa. He is from Venezuela and arrived in the city in September. His last known address is a migrant shelter on West 70th Street. The other two teens are ages 15 and 16, also migrants, and they all attend the same high school in Upper Manhattan. They are also under arrest. The NYPD saying there is a growing problem in the city with Venezuelan gangs.
There are some Venezuelan groups of migrants, I say some, not all, that are affecting crime in our city more so now than when they first got here.
You heard that. Do you remember MS-13? That's the growing Mexican gang that Donald Trump was going after during his term. Yeah. Now they're talking about Venezuelan gang growing in New York City and throughout the region because why? Some people are definitely seeking out opportunity and a better life and start from scratch, are willing to work hard for that. But unfortunately, there are going to be some people who are going to decide to go a different route. They're going to want to steal, commit crimes, and then gangs are going to come into the situation. And you know what you need to combat gangs that are being formed by migrants and people who are not here and that we don't have a big database on? You need ICE.
We saw the moped robberies and snatches. We see pockets being picked in Times Square and on the subway. We see some groups going to stores, Macy's, King's Plaza, Glass Hut, and stealing property.
Enough of that, man. So like you said, you saw that, guys, and we're gonna need ICE in this situation, guys. We're gonna need ICE. They're gonna need ICE to deal with situations like this. And you saw it from the other day. The ICE director for the New York region, he said that they don't really get a lot of communication and a lot of data from the New York Police Department like they would previously. So that's a problem, because had this 15-year-old man crossed outside of the state borders, there could be like nothing that New York City Police Department could do. And if he was a little older, maybe he's 15, but if he was older, he might be able to flee. Now that's a problem. That's a growing problem when we have to deal with crimes from migrants, because ICE would be the institution that would deal with that. But right now, the moves that Democrats have made has made that rather difficult for ICE to do their job. And we're going to get into it. Trust me, we're going to get into it, because you need to see how we got here. And we're going to unveil it soon. Let's run it. Pay attention.
Is taking action. But ICE officials tell us that when it comes to migrants committing crime, what they can do is limited because of the city's sanctuary status.
We're no longer contacted. We're no longer called.
The federal government's ability to deport migrants accused of a crime is limited, according to Kenneth Janello, who oversees operations of Immigration and Customs Enforcement in New York City. Janello says that since 2014, when the city council passed its sanctuary city laws, ICE's partnership with the city went out the window. Now, instead of getting notified when a migrant is being accused of a crime, he says they find out through the media.
Instead of being able to take custody of these individuals in the confines of a jail or in the confines of a precinct, we now have to go out into the community and the streets where unfortunately the criminals have the upper hand.
This call for cooperation follows an attack against police officers carried out by more than a dozen migrants. 6 people have been arrested so far and only 1 was held on bail. 4 of the migrants are believed to have skipped town after their arraignment and took a bus headed to California.
Yes, guys, you heard that. 4 of the migrants dipped. Now, the problem that we're having is that officers and Democrats have made moves that has held back ICE. They have dropped funding. They've made a whole mess from the top, right? From the director down, it's a whole mess in ICE. So the other day, when they thought they found some of the individuals that fled, it turned out it actually wasn't them. They got mixed up. They caught the wrong people because of corrupt data information. And the director of ICE for New York is saying that they're not getting a lot of information and the data that they need from the New York Police Department. What?
We asked if there was no sanctuary city law on the books, if these migrants would have been detained after leaving court.
As long as NYPD contacted us, yes.
Mayor Eric Adams continued to say on Monday he believes those responsible should be deported. However, he wouldn't say whether he supports a city sanctuary status, just that it's not up to him.
This is a city council bill that was passed, and so the city council must review that.
Meanwhile, on Monday morning, the NYPD arrested around 7 migrants accused of carrying out around 62 robberies. Many of these migrants used mopeds and electric scooters to snatch things like iPhones and wallets. These men then sold the phones to the migrant posing as a ringleader who would hack the phones to steal a person's bank information.
Wow. So that's the part you need to hear and see right there. The other day, they found a group of migrants. They made this a big situation where they caught the ringleaders up in the Bronx. So migrants were being given these jobs, like it's Uber or something, and they were told to pretty much go out and get snatch people's phones because they could get up to $300 to $400 per phone. Not because of the value of the phone, guys. It's not because you got the coolest new iPhone. No, it's because they have a new device that once they have your phone, and you know how you have Apple Pay? Yeah. The same device that you use to scan at one of these stores when you're checking out, people now have these devices, and once they scan your phone, boom, some of your credit card information is there. They then use that credit card information to resell or even use directly themselves. So they were up in the Bronx, Mayor Adams, on Monday, and they brought down the head of this crime ring operation because, of course, they bagged a couple of these migrants who were doing this, and yeah, they snitched.
7 migrants accused of carrying out around 62 robberies. Many of these migrants used mopeds and electric scooters to snatch things like iPhones and wallets. These men then sold the phones to the migrant posing as a ringleader who would hack the phones to steal a person's bank information. The NYPD says these migrants primarily live in city-run shelters.
In recent months, a wave of migrant crime has washed over our city. They're essentially ghost criminals. No criminal history, no photos, no cell phone. Today is a hard-fought win.
They call them ghost criminals. They have no history, no previous address, no driver's license to check where the hell they live, right? You can't check where they live, what kind of background, what kind of school, any information from their mom, family, nothing. Nothing, guys. All right? So pay attention and get the word out about the new crime operation that they have going on. Because once they steal the phone, again, it's not about the phone. It's about the information in the phone, which is your wallets where you keep all your credit card information. They then pull They have a device, they then pull that credit card information and they directly use it, or they resell that information for money online. And your information, your credit card information, will be going up on the black market. So you have that, and you have this shooting, and crime is just on the rise in general. And I'm bringing this to your attention because normally we would have ICE to deal with this. But the ICE director himself just told you that they're not getting information. And then the Democrats took it a step further, and they just completely screwed up the whole ICE situation. And we're going to get to it. Trust me. You're going to want to like, subscribe, and definitely share, because I'm about to unveil what really got us to this problem and why the average American should be concerned when it comes to migrant crime. There's a big concern over migrant crime specifically, because if they start moving around and we don't have much data on these people, and they start moving around and doing crime in New York and then leaving to Georgia, doing crime in Georgia, leaving to Chicago, doing crime in Chicago and leaving for Tennessee or wherever they're going, it's going to be a real problem. And we're going to get to how we got here, because the Democrats definitely have a hand in why ICE is so messed up right now. You tell me your thoughts and opinions on how you feel about the situation growing with the migrants. You let me know, and let's have a discussion about it. Like, subscribe, share, and get the word out. Again, What TV? It's your boy Ace. Peace.